All I hear is talking, I don't sweat that. If they don't trust me either, I respect that. If she be down the ride, oh, I bet that.
What's going on, Postal family? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is JH. Why do I always do that? And why do I end it with JH? They told me once, side note, whenever you have an interview with somebody, whenever you approach somebody and you want to have a lasting effect, such as a regular interview, hi, my name is JH. And then when you're ready to leave, you also mention your name. Hey, I appreciate your time. Just remember, my name is JH and I thank you for your time. At the end of it, people will always remember that's JH. Hence me saying, my name is JH. Although that's not even my name. Let's talk. Postal Service is in the process of implementing a large-scale initiative to transform its delivery network by relocating letter carriers from post offices to sorting and delivery centers, SNDCs. Sound familiar? If you're new to my channel, go back about 4 or 5 months. It's one of the highest viewed videos that I had because people were arguing with me and they were telling me, Jay, you crazy. That ain't never gonna happen. You crazy. They ain't gonna do nothing with us. They not gonna. And I said, okay, sure. If that's how you feel. I explained this stuff in detail. I said, Jay, you still crazy. But here we go. The first SNDC went into operation in Athens, Georgia in mid-November. The first phase included post office in Watkinsville, Georgia, and several others not yet identified. There may have been a second phase in January that encompassed the rest of the 13 spoke offices originally listed by the USPS in a letter to the National Association of Postal Supervisors and to the APWU in August of 2022. Why are we getting this information last? Who knows? But my thing is to get the information and share it with you. Whether you agree or disagree, I look it up, I try to verify it the best I can, and then I share it. This is what I do. I share your information. Whether it's helpful or not to you, it's up to you. It's up to you. But here we go. This is kind of the part 2. And we'll read a little bit of the article and then we'll talk about it. Yeah, we'll talk about it. If you want to stick around, then stick around. Cool. The next round of conversions is set for February. We're in January. That's in a couple weeks, followed by more in June. Where, Jay? Where? Sheesh. We can't give you an exact location because they're not giving us the exact locations. But again, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm not going to explain exactly what it is. Just go back in my previous video when I say change is coming or whatever it is, and I explain this whole thing. They also have more plans for June 2023, and it shows a map of the whole place where they got them going in. See, people said it wasn't going to happen. The SNDC initiative, Sorting and Distribution Centers initiative, is not something that may or may not happen sometime in the distant future. No. It's happening right now. This is not a brag thing. This is, again, information thing. And all indications are that wherever the changes take place, they will be permanent. Carriers won't be going back to their post offices. About the only thing that may stop the plan is major pushback from local communities, elected officials, perhaps postal unions and management associations. Oh, man. Again, I'm not going to read the whole article, but I just want you guys to be aware because it's happening in my area over here right here. I mentioned this to management before they got wind of it, and then sure as shit stinks, DeJoy visited my plant and told them the same thing that I already had the information on. They were like, oh, I didn't know that. Nonetheless, is it something for anybody to worry about? I don't believe it's anything for anybody to worry about. People gonna be losing jobs. Nobody gonna be losing jobs. I think people will be uprooted from their current locations. And again, I said that a lot of people that will be affected and it will bother the most are usually the people that are set in their ways, that don't want the change. Although we want the change, now the change is coming and people want the feed, they want the pushback. Well, I kind of wanted just to kind of roll out of bed and roll right into my job so it would only take me half a minute to get there. That's not the real world today. Just, it ain't. I don't think it ever will be unless you stay at home and do a computer job. Yeah, you could possibly do that. My brother does it. He does. He works for Microsoft. Big difference. What do I think about this whole thing? I think it is a step in the right direction. It is going to bother a lot of people. My perspective on it was initially that it's going to kind of be like an Amazon, be like a UPS, a FedEx, even Walmart distribution centers. You look at any major distribution center in the country, any besides the post office, any delivery center, parcels as well. They have one location that'll have the vehicles, like truck drivers bring stuff in and pull stuff out of, and all of the smaller vehicles will be pulled out of there. They work out of the same place. They come out of the opposite side. So it's not a new idea. It's new to the post office because we are set in our ways. It's just it. So do you think that there's a FedEx on every single corner? No. The people that work for UPS, do you think that they live just 10 minutes away? No, these people live distances away. So it's a choice that we make, and it's a choice that you'll have to make whether or not you want to stick around. This will go for the clerks as well. They're not going to eliminate all the stations, but look towards the future. If this is happening and this is a program that they're just starting, and this man just spoke about this 10-year program and it's already going into effect, can you imagine what's going to happen in the next 10 years? Try to root yourself in a place in your work environment, your work life, that is going to be conducive to whatever lifestyle you have. If it's not going to be fruitful for you, then it may be time for you to choose other options. And this is just me talking to you guys because we're the same. You know, if I live 10 minutes from the job and then all of a sudden they tell me I got to drive an hour and a half, at that point, I'm not just going to say I'll just go along with it. I'll say, man, this was a good ride, but I got to make a power move. This is not going to work for me. Or I'll sacrifice, find a place and move closer. Those are the options that we're going to kind of be stuck with within these next 10 years. Not saying that it's going to happen to me, not saying it's going to happen to you, but keep that in mind. It is, again, a stable work environment, but if one place closes, another one opens. You understand? It's kind of how life is. A door closes, then another place opens. And if you're not good with change, then this probably is not going to be good for you, because it's going to be it's going to be a culture shock. It's what it is. It's going to be a culture shock. From what I'm reading, given the Postal Service is proceeding full speed ahead without having requested an opinion, it appears that the postal officials may be taking the position that the S&D plan involves operational realignments that will not change postal services. Post offices will remain where they are and continue to serve the public as they have been doing. Any advisory opinions officials may be thinking will only become necessary if and when the Postal Service decides to begin closing post offices and reducing retail hours, step that will be facilitated by the S&D plan. But that could be seen as a separate measure, at least in the view of postal officials. Whoo, buddy. A lot of these new buildings, the leases are signed. One of my co-drivers, he just told me he saw the ground being broken, the fence being put up for one of them, which has questions to me. And I spoke to one of my people. I'm like, yo, dude, they gonna close our building? And he doesn't have a solid answer for me because nobody knows. I think that's what bothers everybody right now. Nobody really knows what's gonna happen. But what we can rest assured is carriers will always be necessary. Clerks will always be necessary. Our small, the worker bees will always be necessary. It's just that the locations will change. At the end of the day, locations will change. Do you think they're going to need postmasters at these S&DCs? Probably not. They're not going to need 9 postmasters. If you got 9 sets of post offices and they all get consolidated and put in one place, they're not going to need 9 postmasters. Think about that. Postmasters are making over 100 grand a year. That's $900,000 that they're going to end up having to pay for instead of $900,000. It's just one of those things, man. Hopefully we'll figure this out. Have a decent conversation. Don't bark at Jay. And if you want to look this up for yourself, just check out SaveThePostOffice.com. Articles are there. All right. This is JH. This article with another one. We out.